this next demo is going to be doing fill surfaces that are tangent and also have tangent boundaries. So earlier we did the surface here, but it did some weird things here. So let's see if we can't make this look prettier by having the boundaries smoother. So, did you figure out a way to create a boundary curve from one end to the next? That instead of being a straight line would be a nice smooth transition. Let's go to geometrical set. I didn't mean to do that. I had something active there. Let's click. Let's make this my in-work object. And then create another geometrical set. Okay, and this one is going to be named fill with tangent boundaries. Alright, so did you figure it out? Under wireframe, how could I connect a curve from this point to this point that would blend tangent to this line and also tangent to this line? How could I connect the two lines with one curve that will hold tangency to both ends? Did you figure it out? It's connect curve. Under connect curve, I'm going to start with boundary curve number 1. Oh, I want to be on that boundary though, so I want this to be my boundary. So if you didn't catch that, I highlighted the curve and grabbed that boundary, and I'm going to grab this boundary up here. It's not letting me grab it. Oh, I got to go down to point number 2 now, and I'm going to try and grab this, and it's asking for a point, so I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to grab that point. Look what it's doing. Alright, it jumped back to that line even though I had that curve there, so I got to switch this back to this curve here. Why is it not letting me grab that? Let's try that again. Under connect curve, I'm going to go from this point to this. I'm going to activate curve 1 because it's got that default boundary line 1. I'm going to try and grab this. And then this point here, the second point on the second curve, I'm going to grab that point, and it's going to grab that boundary curve. I want to change that to this boundary here. Alright, now, do you see the arrow direction it's going? So there's a nice smooth blend here. When I come down here, it's saying we're starting here, we're going to go in this direction and then rip back around to the other side. Well, I can hit reverse direction. I find it easier than trying to grab that little white arrow down here. So I'll reverse the first direction. And now I've got that smooth boundary curve. In fact, if I pull my multi-section or my blend surface out of hide, it looks almost the same, but not quite. There's just a little bit of difference between each one. Again, which one's the best? That depends on your design and what it is you're trying to accomplish. I can only show you the features of what it does. And this is a pretty simple transition. The more complicated the transition, the more drastic your change is from what you get as a result. So oftentimes in production, you just got to make multiple surfaces multiple ways to try and figure out which one works best for you. One last attempt at this, at the connect curve. Select the point, select line 1 in the tree, so I can grab this edge. The arrow is going in the right direction, so that's good. I'll select, for the second curve, I will select this point, and it's going to try and blend it out that way and come in this direction towards line 2. So I'm going to pick line 2 and try and get that edge boundary. Notice now what's happening here. Quite a bit different result. All I have to do is hit the arrow to reverse the tangency. Okay. Now, much like blend surface, you have tensions. You could modify your tensions again. So they have so many similar features, yet a little bit different results with each one. It's just hard to tell you which one to use. It's all a matter of your design, what you're going to try and accomplish. And the only thing you can really do is create multiple surfaces to see what you're going to get as a result. I'll select OK. This time when I go to surface and use the fill command, I'll start with my curve 1 boundary, select that surface. If I try and grab this one, why won't it let me get that? Because each curve that you select must be adjacent. So adjacent means that they share the same endpoints. There's no gap and there's no overlap at the ends. They have the same start endpoints. So I'm going to pick this curve. That's curve number 2. This your red line is telling you, hey, if you had a perfect line from end to end, that would be what closes this off. That's the distance of that line is this much. No big deal. I'm just going to grab this curve. And before I move on to this curve, I'm going to go ahead and grab this surface for a top support. And then I'll grab that final boundary curve that I created. And in my pop-up window, you see I've got line 1, line 2. Those are the 2 lines I created and built the extruded surfaces from. The connect curves are what I just showed you in the wireframe using connect curve. Extrusion 1, extrusion 2 are under support because they're holding tangency, as it says for continuity. It's going to be tangent. So the surface will blend tangent to both the top and bottom surface. My new surface, my new fill surface, will blend tangent to the top and bottom surface. And we can change the color. Yeah, I like this color here. All right, so that is fill tangent with boundary curves as opposed to the other tangent surface we built. Just went straight edges for the boundary so the boundaries do not blend smooth with the other surface. Okay, so I don't know what kind of surface you would want to actually do that without the smooth boundary curves. So that's how you get fill surface to blend smoother. Okay, that concludes the exercise with the fill tangent boundaries. The trick was to build the 2 connect curves.